What is up, YouTube? This is your boy Juggernaut097 bringing you guys another video today. And today I'm going to be doing my TNA Impact review for July 8th, 2015. And yes, I know this is a little late review right now because I don't have Destination America, so I'm going to be doing them on July 9th. I'm going to be doing them on the day after. So today is July 9th, 2015. So yeah, nonetheless, let's get started with this review. So here we go. So first off, it shows highlights of EC3 versus Kurt Angle from like their TNA World Title match at Bell to Bell. Pretty good opener. I liked it how they opened this up. Showing highlights from last week. So not really much to tell about that. So yeah, moving on. Then next we had was EC3 and Tyrus that came out to the ring. They cut a promo. He says that he's unpinned, unsubmitted, undefeatable new TNA World Heavyweight Champion EC3. Then he says the time is now. EC3 is here, and he is the undisputed world TNA champion and the greatest living wrestler alive. Then he says, tonight I have been given a gift by my sweet Aunt Dixie Carter. Then he says, as you know, she's making her return tonight. And because Dixie Carter signed off by the board of directors, has put me in charge tonight. And then he says, he's booked one sweet little card, and it's going to be wall-to-wall rocking them, socking them, kick butt wrestling action tonight in the Impact Zone. Then he says there is a caveat to this, because in the main event, history will be made, because I will be defending my title, not EC once, not EC twice, but EC 3 times. And then Matt Hardy comes out to the ring, says, EC3, yeah, you're the new world TNA World Heavyweight Champion. It says that I did a favor for you a couple weeks ago, and he said I softened up Kurt Angle, and he says now I do he was like, I do not like you because I'm not. Well, he goes like, I'm not your friend. That's not the reason why I did that, to soften him up. And then he says, then he says, I am not an EC3 fan. He says he took the wrestling machine Kurt Angle to his limits. And the reason why he did that is because he belongs in the world title picture. Then he congratulates him on winning. Then he says he is starting about making a campaign, and he is calling it the Mat for Champ, which I thought that was funny how he said he was going to be trying to do a campaign. So yeah, he said he was going to be doing the campaign, and then going to call it hashtag Mat for Champ. It was like, hey, people at home, if you're watching this, if you want to see me in the title picture, call it Mat for Champ. So we want to see EC3 versus Matt Hardy. So then he says that EC3 pretty much says that you took him to his limits, but I took him to the mat and pinned him for 1, 2, 3. And then EC3 says, I am the world. And he goes like, remember, I'm the world heavyweight champion, and I am running this show. And then he declines having the match with Matt Hardy. And then he says, now understand that. He goes like, Matt Hardy then says, now understand. He goes like, yeah, I understand, but you need to understand that I'm going to kick your ass right now. And then EC3 goes to hide behind Tyrus, and then he says, why make a threat? Because I hold your career in your hands. Then EC3 talks about how he's a new father, and then he says, but how can I give you a title shot tonight because I had you booked in a tag team match? Then he says, it's just so unfortunate that your dumbass brother has a broken leg and can't be here to be your partner. And then he tells him to go. He tells that he's going to be going by himself in a tag team match, in a handicap match against these two guys, and they were very upset about last week's events that happened. So he's going to be facing the Dirty Heels in a handicap match. So Dirty Heels versus Matt Hardy in the first match tonight. So the Dirty Heels, they take advantage, like pretty much during the whole match, they took advantage. Dirty Heels took advantage, like I said, and they start laying kicks in the corner on Hardy. Hardy tried rolling up Aries, but pops out at 2. And then Hardy hits a side effect and then went for the cover, but Bobby Roode broke it up. And then Bobby Roode started laying some punches on Hardy. Aries hit an elbow in the face of Hardy. Hardy tried fighting back and hit some punches, but Roode hit a spinning forearm. And then Roode hit a inverted DDT. Aries did a nice stomp onto the face of Hardy. The Dirty Heels had advantage a lot during the match. Hardy did a double clothesline on both of them. Hardy was doing punches on both men back and forth on Roode and Aries. So like I said, the double clothesline. Matt Hardy did a running bulldog on Aries and then did a drop kick into Roode while he had Aries, and then went for the cover on Aries, but Aries kicks out too. Hardy tried doing a twist of fate, but Roode broke it up, but Roode got the twist of fate instead. Then Aries is like this spinning forearm in the face of Hardy. Hardy was trying to suplex Aries in the ring, but while he was doing that, Roode swept the legs of Hardy, and Aries fell on top and got the 1, 2, 3 for the win. So the winners of the match were the Dirty Heels, so they held down Matt Hardy's legs. So yeah, I thought this was a pretty decent opener, but it was like about a 5-minute match. So yeah, that was that. And then next we had the Rising, and we had the Rising in the ring for the last time. Drew says he wishes he was out here under more positive circumstances, but as of right now, the Rising is finished. And then he says the 3 of us came together because there was a need for someone to stand up and fight the injustice happening in professional wrestling. Fight those who are trying to manipulate the system of their own game. And he is talking about the BDC. Then he tells Eli and Micah, "It has been an honor to fight by your sides." And Eli says, "I'm sorry about this. Well, we all deserve better than this." And then he says, with this, Drew, you brought me through the door, and someday I'm going to show you how this exactly means to me. And then Drew says, "I'm going to make a promise, BDC. Your time is coming, and wrestling will continue." He says, "It is the oldest sport in the world." Then he says, "It will be around when we retire. It will be around long after we are dead." And then he says, "You see the type of matches that happen here week in and week out, and the kind of matches you're seeing tonight. The roster in the back, the TNA roster, the future is bright in TNA, and you can believe that." So he kind of brought out his Roman Reigns during that. I thought that was funny. Like, oh, he must be Roman Reigns. No, but I thought that was funny during that. And then he says, hashtag stand up. Will continue. This is not the end. This is only the beginning. And then it showed EC3 crying. He was actually just fake crying. EC3 says, "Drew, what you have done, hashtag stand up, is something beautiful." Then he says, "It is a damn shame that I have booked you in a 3-on-3 6-man tag team match and you have no partners. So it is going to be a 3-on-1 handicap match." And his opponents he's going to be facing is the Revolution versus Drew Galloway, which is the second handicap match of the night. Which, man, TNA must love doing handicap matches, I guess. But Drew started going after Abyss, but Koya and Manic jump him. This was pretty much a beatdown by Koya. Beat down by all, the Revolution. They beat up down on their home match. Koya got pulled Abyss off, and then they started, having some dissension between each other. Manic tried locking in a cross like Tapakai's arm breaker, but Drew lifted him up and threw him into the corner, but then the numbers game caught up onto Drew again. Drew did a kick onto Abyss and hit a clothesline on Koya. Drew hit a nice neck breaker on Abyss, and then Drew did a chop on Manic. Koya hit a nice slam type of move and went for the pin, but Abyss broke it up, which Abyss, they were arguing, the reason why he broke it up is pretty much because he wanted to hit the pin, Then Koya and Abyss, they start arguing, and then Abyss wanted to pin Drew, like I said. Drew did a drop kick into Koya, and Koya ran into Abyss. Then Manic was on the top rope, and Drew caught him in midair and did a backbreaker on his knee to Manic, and then Drew hit a running boot on and pins Manic for the 1-2-3. So the winner of the match was Drew Galloway. So yeah, I'm kind of happy the Rising broke up a little bit. The reason why is because now we can see Drew Galloway in the main event picture, which I think they should have had the BDC win at the bell to bell. But that's just in my opinion. They should have just had the BDC win, and not the BDC. They should have had the Rising win, and then just had the Rising disband, because I thought they would disband, even if they did win. So yeah, and then the BDC would have been gone also. So yeah, but it is what it is. But this was an alright match, nothing special. And then it shows EC3 and Tyrus backstage, and Mr. Anderson shows up, and Anderson, says, I just got one more for you. Congratulations. Then he says, I am, and he goes like, I don't like you and don't see eye to eye a lot of things. Anderson then tries to get himself one of those title matches tonight, and EC3 tells him to piss off. He already booked Anderson in a match with Bram tonight, so yeah. And then the next match we had was Mr. Anderson versus Bram. So they tie up, and then they go in the waist locks back and forth, and then they do some pretty good grappling. Bram hit an uppercut in the corner. Anderson hit a clothesline and a back elbow, and then a swinging neck breaker. Anderson went for a rolling senton, but Bram countered, and Anderson tries again and hit it. And then Anderson went to the top rope and hit a swanton bomb and goes for the cover, but Bram kicks out of two. Anderson was going for the mic check, but Bram elbowed him, and Anderson clotheslined him. Bram clotheslined Bram to the outside of the ring. Anderson did a baseball slide to the outside, and then Bram threw a chair in the face of Anderson, so Earl Hebner called a disqualification. So the winner of the match was Mr. Anderson, but Bram does not care and Irish whips Anderson into the steps, then rams Anderson back into the back first into the apron. Then Bram did a shot short arm clothesline, and then Bram was yelling at this lady, told her to bring the mic down that Mr. Anderson uses, when he does his entrance. Then Bram says, "Mister," and then hit with Mr. Anderson with the mic and said, "Forget you're pathetic." And then he hit him with a mic a couple times, and then took the mic apart and then hit Anderson with it again, and then started laughing and said, "How does it feel, Anderson?" So yeah, that was that. All right match. Yeah, it was all right. So yeah. Then the next match we had was a street fight, Jesse Goddard versus Robbie. I actually did like this match. This match was pretty fun, very entertaining. Um, so Robbie E, just ran down to the ring and started laying punches. Then hit a Luthez press on Jesse, and then pound. Yeah, I did a Luthez press on Jesse, and he started throwing punches in the face of Jesse, and then Robbie E hit a spear in the corner, then throws Jesse over the top rope. Robbie E hit a roll off the ring apron onto Jesse while he was standing on the outside, and then Robbie E brought a trash can lid and ran up to the top of the stage and ran back down and hit Jesse in the face with the lid. Robbie E brought out a trash can during this match. Then a kendo stick, and then Robbie suplexes Jesse back into the ring. I thought that was pretty cool. And then Robbie put the lid over the, packaging of the balls of Jesse. He put it over the balls of Jesse, and then used the kendo stick and hit him on the balls, like while the trash can lid was still there. I go like, oh man, that hurt my package. Like, hey, if we're talking about packages from Tough Enough, yeah, this could be the packages from Tough Enough. ZZ's package. No, I'm joking, but yeah, that kind of hurt my package a little bit during that. And then Robbie used the kendo stick and hit him in the package, like I said, while the lid was over his package. And then Robbie E tried doing a splash over the top rope, but Jesse moved out of the way, and then Jesse rammed Robbie back first into the ring post. Jesse smashed a trash can over the head of Robbie E. Jesse powered bombed Robbie in the corner. I thought that was pretty cool. Robbie E started biting the arm of Jesse during the match. Jesse was hitting Robbie with some kendo sticks and let it go, and the kendo stick went flying into the crowd. So that kind of reminded me of what happened at Monday Night Raw when Brock Lesnar hit this fan in the crowd with a door, and that guy got mad. So that kind of what me reminded me of. But Jesse got the kendo stick back and tried swinging it, but Robbie hit a side Russian leg sweep. And also during the match, Robbie's nose was kind of bleeding during this match. And then Robbie E was just going to town with the kendo stick. Jesse hit a nice drop kick, and then Jesse brought steel chairs in the ring, but Robbie E rams him shoulder first in the trash can. And then Robbie E hit a reverse DDT on the chair. It goes for the cover, but Jesse kicks out at 2. I thought that would have been over right there, but no. And then Robbie E set up a chair, but I chaired together. And then he went up top, but Jesse pushed him off, and Jesse powerbombed him through both of those chairs. He set up and then went for the cover, but Robbie E powers out at 2, which that was freaking sick. I like that move that they did. And I thought that was going to be over right there. I thought Jesse was going to win that. And then Jesse put a chair, like I said, he put the chair standing up on the back of Robbie E, like standing on the back of his back. And Jesse locks in the Boston Crab, or I think it's kind of like the Adonis Crab. I don't know. And pretty much, who I can't remember. Oh, Robbie E, he passed out. So the winner of the match was Jesse Goddard. So yeah, this was a fun match. Probably one of my favorite matches actually tonight. So yeah, I recommend going and checking this match out. So yeah, pretty fun match right here. And then next we had was EC3. He was discussing his 3 matches tonight, and that they will be all 5-star classics. Lashley wanted a shot tonight against EC3, and once again EC3 refused. Instead, he made a match with Tyrus versus Lashley. And then next we had a show Kurt Angle backstage. He promised that the night would get more interesting. So yeah. And then next we had was Jeff Jarrett interview part 2. He says that he set up GFW and that they worked, that they worked with 13 other companies this far. He never thought he would work with TNA, but things happen for a reason. And a door was opened, and he is here in TNA. Jeff Jarrett says that the King of the Mountain title will be front and center with GFW, and hopefully will show up on other promotions. That was, it was better than last week's because we actually got some more info, so I like that. And then next we had was EC3 with a triple main event spectacular. That's what he was calling it. So EC3, he was hyping up this historic major main event, and he wanted to pay it forward. And he called out Norv Furman. I can't pronounce his name correctly. Sorry if I didn't pronounce it correctly. But so he comes out to the ring and they shake hands. EC3 kicks him in the gut and then hit at the 1%er and then pins him for the 1-2-3. So it wasn't really much of a match. And then EC3 grabs the mic again, and he says he's still the world heavyweight champion. And then Tyrus, was the corner man for him, like you see in what they do in UFC and boxing. How they give him water, and they put heal their wounds up or something. So EC3 said that how important this week is, and he said that it's Shark Week on Discovery Channel. So I thought that was funny. So he was kind of he was promoting a different channel, like cross promotion. So I thought that was pretty cool. And his next opponent was Shark Boy. And Shark Boy comes out to the ring, and give me a second. Let me find my notes for this, because for some reason my notes got erased on my laptop. So yeah, give me a second. So Shark Boy was his second opponent, like I said. Shark Boy attacked right away, but was cut off quickly. Carter hit the 1%er for the win. So yeah, I mean, nothing really special in this. It was pretty cool seeing Shark Boy back in TNA. We haven't saw him since that anniversary show. It's been quite a while since we saw Shark Boy, but I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah. And then next off, Kurt Angle then came out to ruin the fun. Angle called Carter called Carter out for not facing real competitors, and he said that about his contract, he said he can face EC3 anytime for his rematch, and he said that he's gonna do his rematch tonight. So later on tonight we get was EC3 versus Kurt Angle for the TNA World Championship. So I mean, this match was very good, which I'll talk about that more when we get to that. So yeah. But then the next match we had was Lashley versus Tyrus. This match wasn't very good in my opinion. I wasn't really into this match. I don't really like Tyrus. He's this freaking fat. I just don't like him. I didn't like him in WWE, and I don't like him in TNA. But Tyrus, he hit a body slam, then tried dropping an elbow, but Lashley moves out of the way and then locks in the sleeper hold. But Tyrus makes it to the ropes. Lashley went for a spear in the corner, but Tyrus hit an elbow in the corner. Then Lashley goes back and he does the sleeper hold again, but Tyrus gets out and hit a sidewalk slam. Tyrus did a leg drop and went for the pin, but Lashley pops out the 2. And then Lashley tried picking up Tyrus, but all the weight fell down on Lashley, and Tyrus tries pinning him, but he kicks out 2, and then tries again, but once again he kicks out 2. Tyrus throws him across the ring, and then tried going for a splash into the corner, but Lashley moves, and then Lashley started laying the punches on Tyrus and kicks in the corner. Lashley went for a spear, but Tyrus moves out of the way, and then Tyrus went on to the second row for do a splash, but Lashley did an electric chair, hit the spear on Tyrus for the win. So the winner match was Lashley. So yeah, I mean, probably one of the worst matches of the night. So yeah, I don't recommend going back and watch that. But yeah. And then we had the final part because they did. I don't know why they didn't do this together. With the Jeff Jarrett interview, but he says there is a lot of emotion involved in his return, and working with TNA. He says that if they all have common goals, that he says then they can success and sky high will be the limit. And then Jarrett said his legacy will spark speak for itself. Sorry, but he is very proud of his matches with Angle and Styles, and then he praises Joe, Foley, Rude, Young, Storm, and Don West for their work with TNA, and then he takes pride in putting together the team that he did. Basically, Jared, he said said a lot without pretty much saying a whole bunch of things. So yeah, I like this. This is pretty good. And like I said, more information Jeff Jarrett was given. So yeah. And then next off, we had some, knockouts action. Madison Rain versus Velvet Sky. Before the match started, Madison Rain got on the mic and she says, look at me. I'm polished, and look at you. You look like one of these girls in the crowd. And she goes like, you don't belong here anymore. You belong in the crowd. Then Velvet Sky just kicks her in the gut, then tosses her outside the ring, and then rams Madison Rain head first into the ring, like the ring apron, and then Irish whips Madison Rain into the steel steps. Madison Rain hit a clothesline, then went for the cover, but Sky pops out too, and then hit the Northern Light suplex bridge on Sky, and she kicks out at two, and then Velvet Sky hit 3 kicks in a row, like one on the side of the head, and like this 3 kicks in a row. But Velvet Sky wins by the stunner. So yeah, decent match. And then next we had was the main event match. It was the TNA World Heavyweight Championship match. Kurt Angle versus EC3. So EC3 gets right out of the ring at the beginning of the match, and so he gets right back in the ring then, and then he gets right back out of the ring, does the same thing, and he does the same thing again, and then Angle, he just had enough of it. Like when EC3 got on the apron, he just threw him right back into the ring. Angle hit a nice suplex, then floats over into a pin for a 1 count. EC3 rolled outside the ring and then told the ref to count quicker. Angle hit 5 German suplexes in a row. Tyrus was up on the apron, and Angle just clotheslined Tyrus off the apron. Angle pulls down the straps and locks in the ankle lock. And EC3 striked Brian Hebner, and then EC3 started tapping when the new ref came down. What's his name? Stifler? I think that's his name, that bald referee. So Stifler came out and he rang the bell. But the winner of the match was Kurt Angle. He wins by a disqualification, and still your TNA World Heavyweight Champion, EC3. So, yeah, that was that. And then next off we had was Dixie Carter. She came out to the ring. It showed her arrival and in a limo. EC3 and Tyrus are in the ring, and he is very proud of himself getting out of that one. And then he introduces Dixie Carter. EC3 said that he held down the fort and became champion, and knows she is here to congratulate him. EC3 says Dixie gave the wrestling world her nephew, and look what he's done since he's been here. EC3 keeps cutting her off to praise himself, and she finally cuts him off. Dixie Carter then turns face. Nothing that she broke her back going through a table due to her reign of Carter, and she hurt the company and the fans, and now EC3 is out of control. She then says EC3 has been lying for weeks, and then the company doesn't belong to them and belongs to the wrestling fans. And then she says EC3 needs to defend the title with skill and not his last name, because he's embraced the company. She then says someone needs to make it through tough decisions, and says that it isn't hers, and that won't be EC3's, who will it be? And then so they didn't tell us like who the GM, type of person who's going to be running the company really. Like, then the show went off the air. I mean, that was that. So I'm kind of wondering who's it going to be. Like, I don't really know who it's going to be. Is it going to be Billy Corgan? Hopefully it's not that guy, because that guy is bad. I don't really want it to be him, but yeah, this was my TNA Impact review. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. Some reviews that are coming up are my Ring of Honor review. I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. Also, I'm going to be doing some videos with the ICWP podcast. And go follow me on Twitter at TheTrueJSP. And if this is your first time ever checking out one of my videos, please smash that subscribe button. That will help me out a whole lot. And yeah, pretty much everyone saying peace out. Hope you guys like this. And some other videos I got coming up are my Battleground predictions. We got my Monday Night review next week. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Peace out.